Hello, all of you YouTube DIYers out there that like to save money and get a little bit of knowledge on what to do specifically. This video is on stucco and stucco exterior repairs. Now, I'm going to note that I am a realtor, and this is one of my clients' houses that I'm waiting for some contractors, some plumbers and electricians on this project. So I know that the painter that was out here before had missed a very key step in his process. He painted the entire exterior of the house, but what he forgot to do was any caulking ahead of time. So what I'm doing, even though this is outside of my scope of work, what I'm doing is coming out and helping the buyer with getting some of these cracks recalked. So let me show you what I'm looking at here, and there's several ways to do this. And I'm not saying that this is the best way or the only way to do this, but this is one of the many ways that I've researched and found. And as you can see, this is what we're looking at as an example. You can see I don't have my ladder with me, so I only got this far, but you can see that this line has been caulked, that crack has been caulked, and up above there it has not yet been caulked. And so I think, you know, my theory here was that the painter on this project who came out, he was just in a hurry. You know, he was in a hurry and he didn't take all the time to properly do this step. And his thought was probably that, you know, when I spray my spray over this, all this paint, it's just going to cover up these little hairline cracks. Well, in fact, it did not, and we can see evidence of that. Now, if you actually look back a little bit further on this wall, you can see that it's a little bit blotchy in this area, and the shadows are a little bit deceiving, so you may not see this on the video, but this is some area here that he just didn't really get a thick coat of paint on. And so if you notice, though, you can see my little repair that I just put in, this caulking stuff. So this is from my knowledge from talking to both painters and stucco contractors over the years. Using a product like this that has high flexibility and is rated for exterior use with stucco, this is going to be a good product for you to use. Now, you're going to save yourself a lot of money if you're able to do this yourself. Now, the big warning, though, of course, is that you're going to get your hand probably cut up a little bit. Now, my fingers have gotten a little bit torn up here because this is rough stucco. And what you're going to do with this is you take your caulking gun, and anywhere that there's a crack, you just come through and you apply a little bead of caulk down that where that crack is, and then you're going to come back afterwards and immediately afterwards and rub it in that crack and then kind of blend it out a little bit. Now, in doing that, that achieves two steps there. Number one, it matches the texture of the wall, which is what you want, but then it also fills that void and hopefully prevents that crack from spreading in the future. Now, if there's a reason for that crack because of maybe faulty stucco, that's a completely different problem. You know, if you notice that it's going to be soft around these edges here, if you're pressing around the edges and it's soft, that's not a good sign. So at that point, I definitely recommend you get a stucco expert in there, and you may have to have them chip that out and go corner to corner with new stucco. And you also have to be cognizant of whether or not you're on like a foundation or a masonry wall like this. This bottom wall here is all just solid concrete behind it, versus up here, this is you're going to have your foam, your chicken wire, and then your insulation, your vapor barrier, and then your studs. Those are all back behind there. So depending on where you're at and how big the crack is, there are some specialty things. I don't want to misrepresent myself here and say, you know, this is the one size fits all solution. It may not be. You may want to still consider getting a stucco expert out here to assess the situation. But as you can see up top here, I was able to climb up on this. There were some little cracks up there, and kind of all throughout the house. There's just these little hairline cracks. Now, again, as I've been told by at least 2 stucco people, most of the time these are just superficial. They're nothing that you really need to worry about. But with any time that you have cracks open to the weather, and you have the ability for water to get in there, that's not a good sign. So you definitely, at minimum, want to make sure that those are sealed up. Now, after it's all sealed up and you follow in your instructions on the back of your caulking, you're gonna want to be able to give it enough time to cure. And I think this one is tack-free time is 30 minutes. Water ready time is 1 hour. If I read further on there, it's going to tell me how long for paint ready. But you want to make sure that it's paint ready and paintable, and after it's dried its requisite time, you can come back and paint over it, and you're never going to know that that crack was there. Now in the future, of course, if that crack does come back, and you're going to see a little area here of some spots that I've not gotten to yet. But if you notice that the cracks do come back, that means that there's probably something else going on there. And you definitely want to get that addressed, because if that goes on over time, that could be really bad news. So I hope this was helpful and give you some insights on if you wanted to be able to do this job yourself and just get those cracks sealed. This is one way to do it. So thanks so much for watching. Hope this was helpful.